Tony Shaffer is the president at the London Center for Policy Research. He joins us now from Chowan County in the U.S. state of North Carolina. Tony, good to have you on the show. What did you make of the president's speech?
Well, Mr. Hicks and I saw two different speeches. I saw no strength. I saw no real path forward. I will go on the record right now and say, based on his performance alone, he did not deter Putin. He provided no clear indications of how he's going to resolve and enhance NATO to do the things necessary to hold back Putin. He didn't actually do the one thing which would have been huge to both enhance the American economy and defund Putin, which is open up the spigots of American energy. One of the things that President Trump did, whether you agree with it or not, he opened all the access to oil, dropped the price of oil globally, and was able to actually defund a lot of what Putin has been taking advantage of, which is the sale of oil. Plus, I took and interpreted most of his other comments regarding the economy as platitudes. The whole idea of them controlling both prices and increasing the amount for individuals at the basic level, it's not going to help any of the Americans who are hurting now, the people who are facing 12% at the wholesale level, 7 to 8% at the retail level. These things are going to catch up, and I don't see any way President Biden, based on what he said tonight, based on what he said he's going to do, nothing he said he's going to do will have any impact on the economy to change things around before November.
Tony, you said a lot of things. I want to unpack it step by step. You said that the president did little to deter President Putin. I mean, in his speech, he said that he's joining Canada in terms of banning all Russian airplanes from entering U.S. airspace.
Means nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. He said that the Department of Justice will be going after Russian oligarchs and the billions in dollars of assets they've actually gained through this corrupt regime.
Look, I spoke to a number of folks today about this. I'm friends and mentors with a lot of the Reagan cabinet, President Reagan's cabinet. He's not doing what he needs to do is play Putin. All those things may have an effect on people around Putin. It's not going to affect Putin. Nothing that he said tonight is going to have any impact on what's going to happen over the next 10 days or the next 6 months. Frankly, the other thing that he did not do is correct Afghanistan. Putin has read more out of Afghanistan, and frankly, his manner of presentation tonight, if you noticed his speech, and again, this is Putin's people studied the man. They're studying Biden. Biden seemed rushed to get through. He couldn't articulate clearly. All of the subjects were kind of rumped together. So again, it was not impressive. What he said was not impressive. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to be, my job is to analyze. This did nothing to deter. This did nothing to deter Putin. I would think that Putin may even be more bold now because he does not see anything that Biden said is going to set him back. All these things that Biden is doing, he's already planned around. His embassy folks have said as much from what the people I've talked to.
Tony, let me assure you, the reason why we're having you on is to get your assurance, so we're very happy. All right.
Yes, I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
Let's talk about his tax plan. He says that the American tax system just isn't fair. Look, I'm not out to punish anybody, but American corporations need to pay their share. That Americans that aren't earning more than $400,000 will not pay a cent more in terms of the current tax system. What are your thoughts on him sort of looking on sort of the higher earners and the big corporations? Because there's a majority of the big Fortune 500 companies that, like he said, has paid 0% in federal tax.
So I'm someone who believes you need to lower the margins so people aren't trying to move their money offshore. A lot of these companies have offshore concerns. That's where the money goes, so that you can't touch it. To include Apple. Apple does this. So what he said is not going to affect them. And the other thing, any price hikes in taxes, any tax increases that are done domestically are always set down to the consumer. I speak to boards of directors. I speak to individuals and why they may say things to placate President Biden. The bottom line is corporations have boards. Those boards expect certain earnings. Those earnings are something that have to go to the stakeholders. And if that is not met, they're not going to lower that for purposes of paying more taxes. Those taxes are going to be passed on to the consumers, to the individuals, to the people who can least afford it, the poor and the middle class. That's what's going to happen. So while he says he's not going to raise taxes, He's going to raise taxes on the middle class through these corporate increases.
Okay, let's talk midterm elections with you.
Sure.
After the president's speech, how do you see the Republican position going into these important elections?
So, talking to the Republicans I speak to, spoken to a few Democrats, at this point, it's looking very bleak. As I mentioned, there are two things that President Biden could and should have said that he was going to do to change the direction of the economy. First, change energy policy. Actually say one of the things that he's going to do is make sure that gas prices, energy prices drop. I can tell you right now, if he did that, the economy would soar. It would touch every sector of the economy. It would make things better. He didn't do that, so that's not going to happen. The other thing, what you just said, he's continuing with Build Back Better and these issues relating to taxation. Corporations are not going to open up their spigots if they have to keep holding back money, and they're not going to reinvest that and do more things with it. So again, the economy is not going to grow. The 5.7 growth of last year, which your correspondent even noted, was simply jobs being recovered from the previous economy. It's not growth. So without energy independence, without pushing that out, without assuring corporations that you're not going to tax them and you're going to create opportunity for individuals, small businesses, without that, it's done.
Tony, I have about a minute left with you. I want to ask you about the infrastructure bill. President Trump actually tried to tackle this as well. Are you happy with what the president said tonight?
So we all agree that infrastructure needs to be improved. But again, my belief is the best thing you can do is figure out a way to empower the states to do it. The federal government does not, one size does not fit all. I live in North Carolina. North Carolina does a great job with infrastructure. I think it's good that it was passed. The question becomes now, can it be adequately implemented to help everybody? This is the only one bright spot I think he's got, and I don't think it's going to be sufficient to carry him across the finish line at the midterms.
Okay. All right. Tony Shaffer, thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on. I do appreciate the analysis.